What's goody, Barons?
On today's episode, we'll take a look into the Arabic class,
Review the toddler event from last Thursday,
see if you Barons are smarter than a 5th grader,
continue Women's History Month,
and learn how you can be on the next season of BCC TV.
I'm Piero Vasquez.
And I'm Maya Broadwater, and you're watching BCC TV. So, Piero, what's going on in the news this week?
Special counsel Robert Mueller has concluded his probe into President Donald Trump's campaign. The Attorney General released a summary of Mueller's report this weekend, saying it exonerates Trump. The full report will be released soon.
In local news, a county council hearing took place on Tuesday to discuss a bill that would help support closing the pay gap between men and women working for Montgomery County. The bill would give applicants the chance to present their salary history if they believed it could help justify a higher pay.
Jacinda Ardern, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, banned semi-automatic and military rifles in an unprecedented move. Officials estimate that there are 1.2 to 1.5 million guns in a country of 5 million people.
In BCC news, next Wednesday there will be a toxic masculinity event. The event will preview speakers and performances and a screening of Roll Red Roll and a panel discussion about the film. Make sure to attend. Hey Piero, didn't you mention an interest in being in the Arabic class like a couple episodes ago?
Yeah, I think so. How come?
You trying to super senior and take the class?
I'm really tempted, but I'm gonna have to pass. I have a big college-filled future to look forward to.
Well, if Piero isn't gonna help out, maybe some of you guys can.
I'm Booker McCann, and I'm in level 2 of Arabic, and so far I've loved the class. Our teacher, Sayeda Habash, makes the workload very appropriate. She keeps it kind of low and never overburdens students, but always makes sure that we're learning at the same time.
It's a class that I never thought I'd be taking, and I was originally in Spanish but then switched into Arabic, and it's definitely one of the best academic decisions I've ever made.
Now, the Arabic class has a real lasting value. Because it's such a unique class, it looks very good on a transcript.
Sayeda Habash makes it very important that we learn about the Arabic culture and not just the language, and it's such a beautiful culture and language that it's so much fun to learn about and so interesting. So I really want you guys to have this experience as well, so I encourage you guys to switch into Arabic. It's an amazing class and you won't regret it.
If you're interested, make sure to sign up for Arabic.
We gotta keep that class up to its full potential.
Hello?
No, that's not a real doorbell.
Oh, who's that? It's ominous.
Sure.
A red dress?
Red dress?
So
Oh, wait, I think that's Miss Scarlet.
Wait,
Here's
from
Miss Scarlet.
Clue the board game?
Yeah, from Clue, exactly. What's Clue? Well, it was a board game, and then it was a movie, and now it's a stage play.
So that's Miss Peacock, correct?
Oh my god.
What is this?
That was unfortunate.
Come on, it's 29 good. Sounds good.
So, random question, Maya, but do you have a pet?
Yeah, I do. I have a 3-legged toy poodle.
Whoa, back up. Did you just say you have a 3-legged dog? How did that even happen?
It's just like way too long of a story for me to explain right now.
Well, okay, I guess every pet has a great story to go along with them, though.
Yeah, I bet President Adams' pet alligator had a great story, right?
Actually, I think it does.
Oh, really? What is it?
Oh, well, I have no idea, but Abigail does.
Living in the DMV means that we have a lot of exposure to American history by virtue of proximity. In other words, we have to hear about presidents a lot, and usually when we hear about them, we tend to hear about their actions, their words, and what happened during their terms. But that stuff is boring, so let's talk about their pets. Yes, right here in DC, the swamp itself, there have been tons of crazy animals at the White House, including, but not limited to, birds, cows, donkeys, bobcats, squirrels, raccoons, and an actual alligator. Yeah, a friggin' alligator lived at the White House for several months. Marquis de Lafayette, yes, the one from Hamilton, was gifted an alligator during his tour of the 24 states and decided that the best thing to do with the swamp demon was to give it to the sitting president, John Quincy Adams. And Adams, being the reasonable and responsible leader, decided to do the honorable thing and keep it in his bathtub. You'd think that someone sending an alligator to the president would put a kibosh on anyone sending live animals to their nation's leader, but nope. On the first year that Abe Lincoln made Thanksgiving a national holiday, someone sent him a live turkey to cook. Tad Lincoln, Abraham's son, befriended the turkey. He named it Jack, taught it to follow him around the house, basically treating it like a weird-looking dog. Now, Abraham didn't want to violently murder his son's friend and thus pardoned Jack the turkey, starting the annual tradition of pardoning a turkey every year. But Lincoln and Adams pale in comparison to the actual zoo that Calvin Coolidge had as commander-in-chief. Just a few of the pets that Coolidge owned were a bulldog, 2 collies, 2 chows, 2 terriers, 3 canaries, a goose, a mockingbird, 2 cats, a donkey, a bobcat, and 2 raccoons named Rebecca and Reuben. The raccoons in particular were very much loved by the Coolidges. There are several photos and accounts of Grace Coolidge holding Rebecca in her arms, and Calvin himself used to walk around with her draped around his neck. No matter what you say about Coolidge's presidency, no one can doubt how happy he made those little animals. Anyway, speaking of happy animals, there were few creatures more spoiled than the dogs of Lyndon B. Johnson, although at the time, this was not believed to be so. A photo published by Life magazine shows Johnson pulling on his dog's ears, and before I continue, can we just appreciate the fact that this may or may not be one of the funniest photos I've ever seen? It looks like he's trying to use the dogs as a lawnmower, and I have no idea what the expression on that dog's face is. The beagles were named him and her. Yeah, the man who single-handedly kickstarted the American welfare system, and he couldn't even name 2 beagles. And most accounts mention that, despite the questionable ear-pulling, Johnson really loved his dogs, and honestly, that much should be evident just from these photos alone. Just look at how happy he is when looking at them. Speaking of happiness, I'm pretty sure you all will be overjoyed to know that that's all the time we have for this week, Barons. Back to you, Maya and Piero.
Thanks for that, Abigail.
Let's continue up Women's History Month with all the groundbreaking advancement women have made.
Throughout Women's History Month, we've seen some amazing things. It's hard to realize that many of the strides for equality made by women have only occurred recently. To end the month, we would like to recognize some of the significant advances in women's rights that have occurred in just the last 200 years. In 1839, Mississippi becomes the first state to grant women the right to own property, but only if they had their husband's permission. In Mexico, Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz defends women's right to education with the iconic statement, "One can perfectly well philosophize while cooking." Kate Shepherd presents a petition to the New Zealand Parliament demanding women's suffrage with 32,000 signatures, making it the first country to give women the right to vote. Marie Curie becomes the first woman to win a Nobel Prize for her research in radiation. Since then, only 50 other women have won a Nobel Prize. Raicho Hiratsuka, a writer and political activist, co-founds Japan's first all-women-run literacy journal, Sato, which challenges women's traditional roles. World War I breaks out, requiring manpower all over the world. Back in their home countries, women fill men's roles in the workplace, giving them a new sense of independence. The 19th Amendment to the US Constitution is ratified, granting women the right to vote. Doria Shafiq puts in motion the Egyptian women's rights movement when she leads 1,500 women to parliament to demand full political rights. The Equal Pay Act is passed by Congress, promising equitable wages for the same work, regardless of race, color, religion, national origin, or sex of the worker. In that same year, the Civil Rights Act also passes, prohibiting employment discrimination. Billie Jean King, an American tennis champion and activist, threatens to boycott the US Open unless women receive equal prize money. Sandra Day O'Connor is appointed by President Ronald Reagan to serve as the first woman on the Supreme Court. Saudi Arabia gives women the right to vote, making it the last country to do so, except for Vatican City, who don't even have elections. Ladies, we've made some great advancements over the years, but this is just the beginning. In countries all over the world, women face discrimination and are not allowed to read, learn, or even leave the house. For billions of people, gender equality is still far from their reality.
Thanks for that, Ariel and Poppy.
As surprising as it may sound, Maya and I won't be here next year since we're graduating.
But there's no need to worry because next year we're going to have some very capable Barons that can fill our shoes.
Let's pass it over to JD to find out how you can try out to be an anchor or editor for BCC TV next school year.
Seriously, stop talking now if you are interested in being a part of BCC TV next year.
Oh, howdy there. I heard you wanted to join BCC TV. Come follow me.
Here, you can prompt for the script. You can help by filming, or you can be one of the anchors. We do a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff here on BCC TV as well. I'm gonna go check it out. Hey, Jan. Come here, buddy. Can you tell our viewers what they can do to be editors on BCC TV?
If you know any of these programs, make sure to submit a video.
Thank you so much, Jan.
Bye.
Thank you for taking a walk with me. Now that you've seen what we do, I hope you're interested in trying out. If you would like to try out as an anchor, you can try out either on April 3rd or April 15th during lunch. If you would like to be an editor, we will accept video submissions edited by you up until April 15th. Now, I really hope you can join our family. Thanks for walking with me. See you around the bend.
BCC TV is a great experience, and we can only encourage everyone to be a part of this crazy family.
Make sure to pull up to tryouts, Barons. You'll regret it if you don't.
Anyways, with the spring season finally starting, let's pat it over to Jeremiah to catch up with Barron Sports this week.
Hey everyone, your Barron athletes have been absolutely crushing the competition as the spring sports season is getting underway. Girls tennis started off their season on Saturday with a close match, beating Northwest. They went on to crush Poolesville on Monday, but ended up losing in a close match to Churchill on Wednesday. They have a match today against Blair at Silver Creek Middle School at 3:30. Come out to support. Guys tennis, on the other hand, crushed Northwest High School 7-0 on Saturday with their first match of the season. Boys and girls outdoor track and field won their meet against RM and Whitman on Saturday, and on Tuesday they won against WJ and Churchill. They're both 4-0 in the division and both have a chance to win the division against Wooten on Wednesday. Shout out to Conde Mande for coming in first place in the high jump in both of those meets, absolutely crushing the competition. And a shout out to junior Camila Montoya, who whooped the competition, getting first place in the discus throw this past Tuesday. Boys baseball came into their season hot, winning all of their first 3 games. First, they won against Gaithersburg Saturday with James Springer pitching incredibly well through 5 innings with a whole lot of strikeouts. Then they went on to dominate against Poolesville Tuesday and finally beating Blair on Wednesday. Girls softball closed out Gaithersburg Saturday, crushing them. Shout out to senior Caitlin Condon, who had 2 home runs and 10 total strikeouts. The girls suffered a tough loss against Poolesville on Monday, but had a huge win against Blair in the top of the 7th on Wednesday. Big shout out to Siobhan Brindle for stepping up to catch in this game, playing extremely well. Girls lacrosse, Pagan's Army had an incredibly amazing game against RM, winning Saturday. Tuesday, the Army had a close loss, falling to QO. Friday, the Army marches into enemy territory as they face Churchill, away at Churchill at 7. Guys lacrosse wore out Northwest, beating them on Saturday. Unfortunately, they lost to RM on Monday, but they came right back and busted QO Wednesday night. Guys Lax has a big game on Saturday versus Churchill at 12 at Churchill. Come support as they catch their next dub. Co-ed volleyball started great in their season, beating Watkinsville last Thursday and beating Poolesville Monday. Kira Feinauer had an awesome serving streak in the first set for co-ed. They beat Seneca on Wednesday and have a home game against Churchill this Friday at 5:30. The boys volleyball team started off the season with a couple of L's, falling to Watkinsville in 4 sets, then falling to Paint Branch in 3 sets last night. But they came back and beat Seneca Valley by forfeit due to Seneca Valley not having a team. Now, as you all know, Barron Brigade is over. Except that it's not. The Barron Brigade team is ready to unveil their spring calendar. Just like last time, the class with the most amount of points will win and will earn a final party. The first event is Wednesday at Wooten High School for track, where they could 100%, definitely, absolutely win the division, so come out and support. Yeah, it was a lot for the sports this week, Barons. Remember to keep that Barron Brigade event attendance high. Come to my track meet next Wednesday, and keep those March Madness bracket upsets low. I'm Jeremiah, and I'm handing it back to my Pierro.
Thanks for that, Jeremiah.
Well, that's all for this week, Barons.
Check back in next Friday for more news, updates, and humor.
Keep the standards high, BCC.
And keep the 89.4% low.
I'm Maya Broadwater.
And I'm Pierre Vasquez.
And we're signing off.